Hey, what's up, fam? Today we're going to talk about how to sell pretty much anything on Marketplace. However, as an example, this pretty much is going to be about motorcycles or dirt bikes, but applies to cars, ATVs, side-by-sides. But it really actually applies to anything you want to sell. These are my tips and tricks to how to sell on Facebook Marketplace. Now, the very first thing that I suggest anybody does, which I do, is I go into my Messenger settings and I turn off red receipts. This way, certain buyers, certain people, certain lowballs, you can ignore, delete, block, whatever you want to do without them knowing that you saw what they had to say. Scammers, etc. You can just delete it, get rid of it. And there are some cases where you're going to want to have red receipts on. For example, when you go to meet someone that's actually a good buyer and you want to know if they saw your message, yes, you can temporarily turn them back on for that, but then turn them back off. The next thing you want to do is whatever item that you're selling, make sure it's super clean. Take the time to wash it. Use things like SC1, shine up the tires, shine up the plastic, make it look nice and clean. This will hint to a potential buyer that you actually take care of your stuff when you're not using it. Next up, you're gonna wanna use all the photos that Facebook allows you to. So if it allows 20 pictures, take 20 crisp, clean, well-lit, excellent photos. Man, I see so many people, they just put up these old foggy pictures from whenever they rode last and the bike's all dirty and muddy. Don't use those. You're gonna have to take my advice on this, guys. I'm only trying to make you as much money as you possibly can on the item that you're selling. And what I like to do is take a bunch of pictures of the wear items, the chains, the sprockets, the wheels, anything that would show wear, the side of each motor, things like this. The more pictures you have, the better quality pictures, the less questions a potential buyer is even gonna ask you. Next up, let's talk about what you're gonna write in that ad. And I'm gonna start by saying, a good thing to say is, if this ad is still up, the item is still available. Or if you see this ad, it's available. What you don't wanna do in caps is say, don't ask me if it's available, I will not respond. It goes back to the red receipts. If you don't like someone asking you if it's available, go ahead and delete them. But me, I'll give you a few examples. I give them a thumbs up in response if someone asks me it's available. I don't put it in my ads. I don't want to sound like I'm angry and miserable in life. Someone can ask me all day long if it's available. I've sold plenty of things where people ask me if it's available and weeks go by and then all of a sudden they come back and they say, I'm coming today. I'll give you all the cash. We got it. Let's do it. Now, if you want to put no trades or no scammers in caps lock, that's fine. No problems there. I mean, it's easy to spot a scammer, but we'll get to that. And with that said, look at the profile of the person that's a potential buyer. If it's a brand new profile made in 2024 and they don't have a profile picture, or if it's some guy waving guns around, I don't know, man. I'll leave that up to you guys. But there's certain ones that I just say, I think I'll just ignore. So back to what you're gonna put into the ad. So also make sure you say things like, it's turnkey ready, no problems, no leaks. You wanna reassure them without them asking 50 questions that the bike is pretty much ready with no problems. It's not a guarantee that the item you're selling is gonna have no problems, but people really wanna hear that when they're potentially buying an item. So definitely put things in there, unless you're trying to sell something that's broken and you're hiding it. Other really good things to say is if you have any paperwork, make sure you include it. Any original bills of sales, if you're the original owner, title, paperwork, things like that, certificate of origins. I mean, it helps. You could just, one line, put it in there, all original paperwork, title included, whatever as applicable. And as you guys know, in recent years, my bikes are being raced. If your bike is not being raced, make sure to say that. Never raced, trail ridden only, vet ridden only. These things help. Some more things to avoid in your ad is, one, don't over talk it. Don't type up a life story. Don't have multiple paragraphs like as if you're writing a book. No one actually really cares. Don't say you're selling it to buy a bigger, faster bike. Don't say that your wife or your girlfriend outgrew it or your kids never use it. Avoid those things because you're only telling a potential buyer reasons not to buy your bike. So you want the ad to be just about right, not too long, not too little. Sometimes I see ads that say, needs some TLC, and that's it. It's like, what do you mean TLC? Does it have flat tires? Does it need grips? Does it just need some plastics? Or like air in the tires or a chain and sprockets? Or does it need a whole top end? Is the thing blowing oil out the rear end? I mean, what exactly needs a little TLC anyways? And lastly, let's finish up what you should write at the very end. I don't say no trades. I am usually not open to trades, but I don't leave it off the table. And I'll tell you why, because I've traded up and I've made some really good deals by trading. And it's actually pretty entertaining to see what people can offer you while you're waiting for a cash buyer to come along anyway. I mean, you never know. I've had people want to trade cars for a dirt bike, you know, and hey, if it's a Honda Civic and it's still running and, you know, it's a hatchback and it's desirable and it's worth about the same amount of money, I might do it. But yeah, definitely at the end of your ad, also put tags in it. I use tags all the time. CRF, dirt bike, motorcycle, this, that, and the next thing. You just mention it as tags at the very bottom. Definitely will help. And lastly, to finish this up, once you have someone that's a really good buyer potentially, then you want to exchange phone numbers and have a phone call with them. Make sure it seems like someone that shares the desire for the item that you're selling. You know, talk to them about what you've owned and what they've owned. Get a good feel for them, because, you know, you don't want to get robbed out there, and it does happen. So if it's a big dollar item, have a phone call with them. Scammers, you can always tell who's a scammer when you're selling something. They always want to do phone numbers right away, or they say, email my cousin, they want to buy it. Or, you know, some of these ads, if you're going to buy something, the ads will say, you know, I'm selling it for a friend. I mean, I'm not saying none of that stuff is true, but you just want to avoid that type of stuff. Don't put in your ad, I'm selling it for my friend. You know, just make the ad. So I'm going to put up a few examples of basically a few of my last ads, so you can kind of see exactly what I do. I bought and sold so much stuff on Marketplace, so I have quite a bit of experience. If you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to do a lot more filler videos because, you know, I'm racing now, but the next race is in 4 weeks. So there's going to be a lot of smalls, I'm going to call them smalls, in between. Got a lot to say. Fired up. Thanks for watching.